What's up, guys? So I just finished doing Freestate. I had a lot of fun. This is one of those shows where, regardless of what I may or may not make money-wise, I really do enjoy doing the show. I wish I'd had more time to kind of get up and walk around the show and see what everybody else was doing. One of the things I really like about more low-key, sort of, not necessarily smaller shows, but more just low-key, kind of slower speed shows that still are a lot of fun to do, is that it gives me an opportunity to sit and think and kind of drink in what's going on around me. Now, I have absolutely no problem with really big shows. I don't. Those can be really good moneymakers for some people. I'm so grateful to my neighbors on both sides, Erica and Brian, who were very, very patient with me. I was on 11 from the moment I got there till the moment I left. And the conversations were great. I know that every single time I do a show, I don't know about any of you guys and ladies out there that do shows like this. If you start off kind of slow, as far as the social, requiem of like speaking to people and things, most of it is that I know that at my best, I can sometimes be intolerable to be around, if only because of the fact that I start to get excited, my exuberance and everything else like that mixed together starts to bubble over, and I'm always worried that I'm going to completely wear somebody out. The show, all in all, was really fun, really fantastic, and it did make me feel a lot better. This was one of the things that I was kind of freaking out about, was that I felt like, okay, you know what, I really did. The more shows I was doing, the more I kept feeling like I need to step back and just not be as involved as I had been before. And I was feeling really weird about that, because I felt like, well, how am I supposed to put my name out there and make it and do all these other things if I'm not willing to make the time and effort to do these things and create more artwork? Now, the good thing was that I did get a better sense of, where I was before compared to today. Something today must have happened where I just felt better about myself, and I felt like, okay, there's some constraints mentally that have come off. And so I don't really know what they were, aside from the fact of a general sense of malaise or just almost boredom. And not with comics necessarily, but more the scene, the repetitiveness, that sort of thing. And that is to be, that cannot go unsaid, that, if you do these sort of shows, you're going to find that same sort of thing happening. I mean, after a while, there's only so many costumed people, and not that, or displays of comics that happen after, and then you don't, there's a point where, at least for myself, I got so burned out seeing that I'm like, oh wow, another table with more stuff on it, another thing. And don't get me wrong, there is a certain amount of excitement that would still happen, but maybe between that and then poor sales at shows, and honestly, trying to decide whether or not what I was doing was the right course of action, as far as, not only from a business standpoint, but from a creative standpoint. I mean, I love to make stuff, but at some point in time, I'm making the stuff because I'd like to sell it, I'd like to share it, I'd like to be able to have people own that sort of thing. So, is it going back to the drawing board and saying, oh, I'm going to do stickers and pins and buttons and books and all that? No, that's not me. And that's probably been the most divisive internal struggle I've had, is trying to decide, okay, is it worth making all these other tchotchke type things? Because sometimes it works for some people, and that's great. Does not work for me. And it's not from lack of trying. It's more, I didn't really know how to market myself in that direction. So, and I've been learning things left and right. I was talking to my friend Cameron today about hashtags and the whole concept behind how those work. I'd been doing them fairly wrong. I didn't understand how that whole social strata really worked, with how, okay, this hashtag has 1,000 to 10,000 mentions, so there's a better chance that me being on the lower rung of social media, which sounds really kind of depressing, but if you're not that big of a deal, then you have a better chance picking out hashtags that will elevate you up higher. Now, if you were somebody that was much higher, that had a lot more pull or a lot more exposure, then you could go with a much more generalized hashtag and still be found in that huge sea of hashtags. But that was one thing that had crossed my mind too, was that that's almost, in fact, it is very much a representation of how I felt as a creator. At what point could I at what point could I break apart and not necessarily leave everybody behind, but let's be honest, we're all doing this because we would like to be able to make some sort of living off of this. We would like to be able to do this and hopefully still keep our integrity and everything together, in one piece. And that's been the question that had been at the forefront of my mind. So I guess, it's definitely something that I am so grateful for. This show was the right thing at the right time. I'm glad that I didn't, say, okay, I'm maybe not this year, I'll wait till next year, because I don't feel like I would have been able to approach this the way I wanted to and have as much clarity of thought and feel better about what I'm doing. I will write up a review. You're probably reading that in tandem with this post on my blog right now about Free State. And I hope that if you went to the show and you were in the Lawrence area, that you had a blast. Thank you to everybody that stopped by with the great conversations, the stories, the reminiscing. That was wonderful. That was amazing. And I'm so happy that I did manage to catch up with a lot of people. And again, all of those of you who are down in the entry on my blog, thank you so much for picking up my stuff, commissioning me, buying stuff, everything else like that. I didn't get pictures of everybody. I really regret that. I don't know why, but my iPhone decided that it just didn't have any more memory, and I wasn't getting great enough signal to upload everything to Dropbox, and I wanted to just like start deleting things, so I stopped taking photos after a while. I'm going to start bringing a dedicated camera to those shows so that I don't have to mess with that. I don't know what my problem is with that and storage space on an iPhone. I'm not very good at that. I mean, I usually dump everything onto the computer and then go fresh, but there was just something, I don't know what I was thinking, I just didn't do that. So anyway, thank you again for watching this and for supporting me. I will be back with another entry very soon.